Hey, it's Robert Ferguson, you guys. Yes, Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson. And it is a Fat Loss Thursday. And I decided to come on impromptu and share something that I believe can help everybody. And we're talking about how do you get motivated when you don't even have motivation? Man, if you know the answer to this, it could change everything. And I believe that I'm going to share with you information that is part of the solution to what is going to help you tap into that motivation. And I'm not going to keep you long. I'm going to keep it real though. So let's dive right into it. Again, the focus of our time together is getting motivated when you lack motivation. Let's dive in. Okay. Before we dive into it and kind of get into it, I want to encourage you to take notes, write this down, put it in your phone, because what I'm going to share with you will also come with an analogy that you can share with your kids. You can share with a girlfriend, a guy friend, a friend. You can make a point when you're in a conversation with a bunch of people because most people want to get motivated. They want to be motivated, but it's like, how do you get motivated when you're not motivated? Right? So if I was sitting down with a group of people, I would say, okay, raise your hand if you want to eat healthier. Everybody raises their hand. But then if we watch people over the next month or 2 months or year, they don't do what they said that they wanted. If you talk to someone and say, how many people want to lose weight? A lot of people raise their hand. Oh, I want to lose weight. Of course I want to lose weight. And then they don't do it. And then they're looking for someone to like maybe motivate them to do it. Then maybe they start, but then the motivation fades out. It doesn't last. Maybe I want to like save money and I want to earn more money. I'm telling you, what I'm going to share with you is something that can help everybody no matter what the situation is. Because motivation, which comes from the root word motive, which is all about the reason why, right? It's the motive behind the action. And when you take motive and you add it to action, you get the word motivation, and then you're off and running. But how do you keep it up there? How do you keep the motivation high? Well, let's dive in, man. Let's just have a conversation. And I want to welcome you guys for being here because we're talking about something that doesn't get talked about enough. I mean, I get to share things like this with my clients who I coach, but if I'm not coaching someone, then they don't have access to this. And I want you to have access to this. Okay. Now, everything that I'm going to share with you today is brought to you by our Detox Drop. Now, I'm recording this live. If you're catching it live or the replay on August 31st, I am beginning my Detox Drop on September 1st. I was going to wait until Monday, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to set some new goals. I have a new motive. And for the month of September, I am dedicated to taking certain parts of my own personal goals to a whole nother level. I'm going for it. Now, tomorrow, day one, I'm going to be sharing with you guys what the detox drop looks like. If you haven't done it, I'm going to show you. You're going to see me go through it. I know how great I'm going to feel. I know how great I feel right now, but I'm going to feel greater. And there's some things that I want to improve for the month of September. And so I'm challenging myself personally to really go for it for 30 days. And so I wanted to make the calendar part of my entire process. You know what I mean? So September 1st all the way to September 30th, I'm sticking to my guns. I am sticking to my guns. Now, I like a little bit of wine here and there. I'll like a little cocktail here and there. But for the month of September, for 30 days, you could bring me a $500 bottle of whatever. I ain't drinking it. You can just give it to me and say, here, hey, here's a coupon. Go out and eat whatever you want. I don't want any of that. Now, I'll get it later, but I've already made a decision. I have a strong motive, and I'm sticking to it. And I'm going to start the month off with the Detox Drop, which is a 7-day program. And then I'm going to end the month with the Detox Drop. So 14 of the 30 days, I'm going to be on the detox drop. Can't wait to see what's going to happen. Can't wait to see what's going to happen. Now, I'm sharing that because that's one of my goals. So you should set a goal for yourself. I was talking to one of my clients earlier, Sandy, and she says, all right, I'm going to join you. I said, join me. She has her detox drop. So I was like, join me. And if you guys don't have your detox drop, get your detox drop. Catch me in the middle or catch me at the end. But I'm all in. Okay. Now let's get to how I can help you today. All right. So I share with you what the word motivation is, right? It's having a motive, a reason why you're doing what you're doing, and then taking action. But that doesn't always stay in high gear. A lot of people are motivated in the beginning, and then the motivation tends to fade. So I'm going to share with you how you could optimize that and hopefully put yourself in a position where it doesn't fade. You ready? Okay. Let me give you an analogy / metaphor. When I was a little kid, I went to a school that was predominantly all black. And I'm just saying that just to paint the picture. I mean, from what I remember one kid was Caucasian in the entire grade school. And yeah. And I remember going to school and having a challenge with English, but we all were taught English, right? Starts with learning the ABCs, the alphabet, starting to put words together, pronunciating, learning how to enunciate, all of those things. So you're learning English in school. But then when school was over and I went back home and I was outside playing with my friends and talking to my sister, running around the house, going to my cousins, getting on our bikes, playing on the street, playing this, playing that. Whenever I communicated with people, I was communicating not with English, but with Ebonics. So I went to school and I learned English, but I practiced Ebonics. Now, for those of you who don't know what I mean by that, when you learn English, you learn how to communicate properly. You learn how to speak with a proper sentence, how to ask a proper question. The words were all from the dictionary. But when I went home, we spoke differently. We use a lot of colloquial terms. We spoke, different words. Like kids today will go, that's fat. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that's good. PHAT. So it was a different language that I practiced compared to what I was learning. Now I'm sharing that with you because I see the same thing happens with a lot of people who want to improve certain parts of their lives. So let's go with eating better or losing weight. We learn how to eat, right? So with the Diet for Life methodology, we teach you how to make fat burning meals. And you learn it, but where the disconnect is that you're not practicing it. Right? So it's the same as, when I went to school, I learned English, but when I went home, I didn't practice it. Now, some of my friends, we went to the same school. They learned English, and when they went home, their parents, college educated, maybe not college educated, but the parents instilled the structure in the home where you couldn't just speak in colloquial terms. You couldn't use slang. You had to speak with proper sentencing. You know what I mean? You couldn't just use any kind of word. So those kids practiced at home what they learned in school. I practiced at home what I didn't learn in school. And that's where the disconnect was. And I wanted to be able to speak properly, but I wasn't thinking about that. Now, it's important to get this part because what you practice, you become good at. You don't become good at what you learn. Does everybody get that? You don't become skilled necessarily at what you learn. You become skilled at what you practice. So let's say that someone becomes a physician, and maybe they want to become a cardiologist, and they want to, be able to go in and do heart transplants. They learn in school how to do it. They read about it. They see pictures. They get it. They can explain it in theory, but they don't have any practice yet. So then they get the opportunity to practice. And next thing you know, they get to actually really do it in real life. And then the more they do it, the better they become, because the more they practice, the better they become. The more they practice, the better they become. And if you were going to get a heart transplant, you wouldn't want someone who's only done it twice. You want to find someone who's done it quite a few times, because they got a lot of practice. And if they got a lot of practice, that means they've probably become proficient. When it comes to fat burning meals, knowing is not the same as doing. You must practice. Okay, now I'm about to go deep. Any questions before I go deep? We're going deep. We're going deep. Okay. So the goal is to practice. Now, if there's 30 days in the month of September, and let's say that you said, all right, I'm going to make a fat burning meal. Every meal is going to be a fat burning meal the way I learned with the Diet for Your Life methodology. That's 3 meals a day. And in 30 days, that's 90 meals. That means you get a chance to practice 90 times. And unless your practice is not accurate, you're going to be pretty skilled in just 30 days. And if you did it for 2 months, 60 days, that's 180 opportunities to practice. And if you've been with the Diet for Your Life methodology for years, and you've been practicing it for years, that's a lot of practice. You're pretty proficient. That's why oftentimes our coaches, our best coaches, are people who were first a client. Someone who first applied it, they practiced it, they learned, they were successful, they become a great coach. And if I was a new coach, the more I practice it, the more I do it for myself, the better I'm going to be able to help somebody else. Now we go a little deeper. Let's say you know how to make a fat burning meal. You've now practiced making fat burning meals. You're pretty motivated to get to a certain goal. And let's say you get to that goal. Are you going to continue just making fat burning meals? Or are you going to get off track and just kind of go back to your old ways? It all depends on where your why is. What's your motive? What's your motive, and what's going to help it become habitual? How does it become a habit? And a lot of that goes to our behavioral coaching, where we have cues in place, and then I build a fat burning meal. You would have to consciously and purposely say, I am not making a fat burning meal, and I'm going to splurge, and I don't care about anything, even though I'm not going to like how my pants are going to fit when I go home after this vacation, even though I'm not going to like how that shirt hangs on my body, even though I'm going to really be frustrated when I step on the scale and see that I've gained 5 or 10 pounds. I am going to indulge. Not many people think like that. Some people don't want to think. And then they will just procrastinate, which you can see them doing that in other parts of their life. So we now know that it's very important that you apply what you know and not just become one of those people who knows everything. There's a whole bunch of people walking around when it comes to nutrition, and they just talk like they know. And then you have a whole bunch of people who know, they apply, but not really follow through. They can do it for a little bit and then they get distracted. Because if they didn't get distracted, like Linda, they would go from 249 pounds to 135, 37 pounds. So now you have to ask yourself, okay, I do know I have applied, but somehow I keep getting thrown off. All right, now we're on our way. What does your environment look like? Who are you hanging out with? What kind of friends do you have? Are you with someone that is on board with you 100%? I know, I can't tell you how many times I'll see a lot of women. Women want to be healthier, but they wait on the guy. They just wait, and the guy ain't getting on board, or they try to do it even though he's not on board. And men, I'm not going to say that you mess it up for most of the women, but a lot of them are not successful because you don't give 2 cents about your own health, and you would rather just continue to procrastinate things yourself and put things off and not want to become healthier. I mean, I couldn't even imagine being, if I was a woman, being married or in a relationship with a guy who really don't give 2 cents, because that's going to be your biggest struggle. Because he's going to be eating the things and wanting to watch a movie and eating and drinking the things that you really want. And you're going to cave. And if it's not because of your own desires, he's going to mention it with love. It's like grandma saying, I made this pumpkin pie for you, sweetheart. I made this fried chicken for you, sweetheart. I made it with love. Come and have a piece. When the husband has a little ice cream, come on, have a bite of this. Oh, sit down and have a beer with me. And you're going to cave because you love them. It's coming from a place of sincerity. And all that motivation you had just got caved because maybe it's attention you haven't been getting. And now you're getting it. It's like, you know what? I can have a beer with my man. You know what? I can eat. And you will just cave the things that are important or the things you said were important to you. I have seen this happen again and again and again. And no one really talks about it. I mean, I do. And every once in a while I'll do a live or share information like this. I do, because I get it. And I also know that you can be successful even though you're living with someone who could be crushing your opportunities to be successful. And that goes back, drum roll please, to your why. Your why, which is fueling, right, the action. That's where motivation comes from. Now, here's a tool I want you to remember, and this is a real tool. And I was just talking to Trudy, who I'm giving a big shout out to. Trudy's had fatty liver for a while. She said she wanted to get rid of it. Trudy did everything I would ever ask her to do. And I don't know where the deep-rooted motivation was coming from, but it was deep-rooted. And my gut kept saying, because she would give me, like, so if you gave me your lab work, right, if I'm coaching you, there's 3 things that I could look at real quick to get a pretty good idea of what your level of insulin resistance is. Like once I know your triglycerides, once I know your HDL cholesterol, once I know your fasting glucose or your hemoglobin A1C, and it helps to know, like, you know, your height, your weight, your ethnicity, all those basic things. But if you gave me your lab work, I can get a pretty good idea of where you are with insulin resistance, at what level. And then I can also, there's indications on if you have fatty liver. And Trudy's been working really hard and she's definitely motivated. She's seeing it through. And I said, man, all the signs is that you don't have fatty liver. But she wasn't going to get into the see her doctor for, 2-3 more months. And I just kept saying, man, you know what? Hey, it'll just be that much better when you do get to go get checked and it's going to be ruled out. She goes, man, I hope so. Well, she got in early. Talk about an early gift. There's no more fatty liver. It's gone. It's reversed. Bam, boom. That's awesome. I'm telling you, everything in me said that she had reversed it. And man, Talk about, there is no amount of money that you could give me that would make me that excited when she shared that with me, because I'm part of her team, and to see her accomplish that is awesome. So I have a motive, and I'm motivated to help her achieve what she's motivated about. And now that she got rid of fatty liver, now the goal is to embrace the lifestyle so you don't get fatty liver back. So here's the take home I want to give you, okay? You guys remember, this is a good one. I share this with my kids. I don't know if they're getting it yet, but this is so true, and I've been saying this for years. Whenever you make a decision to improve any part of your life, adversity will show up. Opposition will meet you at the door. What do I mean by that? Well, we know that when you make a decision is like drawing a line in the sand. It literally is like drawing a line and focusing on going forward. Has nothing to do with what happened yesterday, last year, 20 years ago. I'm making a decision. So I make a decision. I cut off the past. I made a decision to go forward. Whenever you make a decision to improve any part of your life, improve, I think we all get any part of your life. It could be losing weight. It could be eating healthier. It could be earning more money. It could be going back to school. Whatever that decision is, opposition is going to show up. So what is opposition? So I made a decision that for 30 days, I'm not going to drink alcohol. And for 30 days, I'm going to do 2 detox drops. And inside of that 30 days, I'm going to stick significantly, primarily to protein and slow carbs. And for 30 days, I'm going to be active at least 6 days a week. I made a decision. Opposition could look like this. I get a phone call tomorrow. One of my friends I haven't seen in 8 years decides to show up in Los Angeles and wants to see me, and got my favorite wine that cost him $400 and wants to come and have a toast because we haven't seen each other in 5 years. Now, a lot of people would go, oh, I can't pass that up. Come on up, man. I'll just get back on my program tomorrow. Nope, I made a decision. And I know that it was the right decision because opposition showed up. That's a sign that greatness and something really positive is awaiting me. So I'm not going to get distracted. No way. That's a sign. That's a tail sign that good things are coming my way because of opposition. Someone, let's say your favorite ice cream is, I don't know, butter pecan. You make a decision. You're like going for it. Your husband shows up because you haven't had a chance to tell him what your new goals are. And he brings you a pint of butter pecan. Out of all the days, most people, well, not most, I'm going to say, let's say many or quite a few people would just, all right, I'll start tomorrow. That's opposition. Opposition is when you say, all right, I'm going to start working out tomorrow morning. I got a treadmill. I'm going to walk 30 minutes every day. You wake up, you get your cup of coffee, use the restroom, you go get on the treadmill, and guess what? It doesn't work. Oh my goodness. When did this break? I mean, it takes all the mojo out of you. All the mojo out of you. But that's a sign. Whenever you make a decision to improve any part of your life, opposition shows up. And then as you make progress, the universe and everything comes into alignment to support, encourage, and pull you forward. That's what I know to be true. So I don't know where you are in your journey, but what I do know is that you can be successful, and sometimes you just need a little bit of help. That could be a program like when I'm doing the detox drop. That could be getting a coach, getting that accountability in place. It could be finding a buddy to go walk with you. It could be someone you can call every day and you check in with each other and say, hey, did you get in your walk? Yeah, I did. Did you get in yours? Not yet, but I will. Text me when you get yours in. Accountability partners. You got to surround yourself with a team. You have to find the people to be part of your life that's going to move you in that direction. It's like the kid going to college, having parents that are checking on that kid, having a cousin who's also going to college and encouraging each other. How was your semester? Oh, yeah, I did pretty good. I'm going to make next one. Well, how's yours? And the energy is helping everyone move it forward. There you go. I covered quite a few things here, you guys. Again, I would just say the real take home is put into practice what you know to be true. Now, do your due diligence the best you can, because there are a lot of people that do a lot of things right. They put into practice, but it may not be the right thing, right? So there's people who may do a diet like keto and really put it into practice, but it may take them to a place they really don't want to be. So you do your due diligence and go, okay, is this something I could live with? Do I really see myself living with this for the rest of my life? Like, really? Like, is this something that I really want? Like, every day I'm never going to eat, watermelon. I'm never going to have a biscuit. And if that works for you and you really can see that you will never want to eat those things again, hey, put it into practice. Otherwise, find the thing that works best for you. All right, you guys. Now, feel free to listen to this again and again and again. It's all about getting ourselves motivated when that's the last thing we want. And when you tap into it because you own it. You guys got this. I'm telling you. I'm Robert Ferguson. If you have questions, reach out to me. If you want to do the detox drop with me at the beginning or the end or the middle, hey, come on, let's go. Let's do it again and again and again. Let's rock and roll. Let's create the structure and make it convenient for us to all be successful. And then we'll pay it back, right? We'll help other people. And remember, motive, the reason why, plus action gives you the root or the real word or meaning, motivation. And once you get motivated, do the work to keep the motivation on high. I'm Robert Ferguson. You can learn more about me at Diet Free Life. Also, check out our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hit the bell so that whenever we upload information, you will be notified. And I wish you nothing but the best. Good luck. And let's make this next 30 days an amazing 30 days of discovery. I'm challenging myself, and I am not going to give up on myself. And I don't want you to give up on you. So whatever it is that you want to achieve, tomorrow is a good time to make it happen. Let's do this. Until the next one,